Dear students, welcome to the e-learning course 4, Derivatives and Risk Management. In Lesson 1, Session 1.1, you will get an introduction into option contracts and you will become familiar with the most important characteristics of options. Now let's start with Session 1.1 and talk about option contracts. The learning goal of this session is to obtain a basic understanding of option contracts. In general, we distinguish between two types of basic option contracts, call and put options. A call option gives its holder the right to purchase an asset for a specified price called the exercise or strike price on or before some specified expiration date. Note, in this course, we denote the exercise price by K. Moreover, we can also make a distinction with respect to the point in time when the option can be exercised. For example, a European call option can only be exercised at maturity, while an American call option can be exercised on or at any time before maturity. However, in this context, it is important to understand that the labeling European and American only refers to the time of exercising the option and has no geographical implication. Finally, the value of a call option at maturity is simply the difference between the price of the stock at maturity and the corresponding exercise price. The second type of option are put options. A put option gives its holder the right to sell an asset for a specified exercise or strike price on or before some expiration date. Like for call options, we distinguish between European and American style option, which refers to the point in time when the put option is exercised. The value of a put option at maturity is then given by the difference of the exercise price and the stock price. Finally, we have to define the underlying asset in greater detail. The underlying asset is defined as the asset that is potentially bought or sold when the option is exercised. Common examples of underlying assets, among others, are single stocks, foreign currencies, or stock indices. Let's have a look at an example. The table shows different prices of put and call options on Apple stock in January 2018, when the closing price was about $174. The purchase price of the option is also called the premium. This is due to the fact that it represents the compensation the purchaser of the call must pay for the right to exercise the option only when exercise is desirable. It is important to note that it's not possible to buy a single option on a stock. Trades are in multiples of 100. In general, we observe that the price of a call option is inversely related to the exercise price, meaning that the higher exercise price implies a lower option premium. The economics behind this observation are pretty straightforward. The payoff of the call option will be the amount by which the stock price exceeds the strike price. Call options become more valuable as the stock price increases and less valuable as the exercise price increases. For a put option, the payoff on exercise is the amount by which the strike price exceeds the stock price. Put options therefore behave the opposite way from call options. They become less valuable as the stock price increases and more valuable as the strike price increases. Moreover, we recognize for both call and put options that the option price usually increases with time to maturity. However, it has to be noted that there are circumstances we do not discuss in this course when this pattern does not hold. Since we now have a basic understanding of call and put options, we can have a first look at payoff diagrams. In order to do so, we first look at long positions, which simply means an investor buys an option. Let's assume the exercise price of a call option is $175 and the option premium to be paid by the investor to buy the option is $10.10. Since the investor has the right but not the obligation to buy the underlying asset at maturity, the maximum loss is limited to the option premium. The investor will only exercise the call option if the price of the underlying asset, say a stock, exceeds the exercise price by an amount larger than the option premium. In other words, break-even is at $185.10 and consists of the exercise price plus the option premium. If the stock price moves beyond break-even, the investor makes a profit. For the put option, the same analysis can be done. Suppose an investor has a long position in a put option, which simply means the investor has bought a put option which gives her the right but not the obligation to sell the underlying asset. For example, a stock at the corresponding exercise price. In this example, the exercise price is again $175, and the option price to be paid to obtain the put option is $10.80. In this scenario, the investor will only exercise the put option if the stock price is below break-even, which corresponds to $164.20. Note that the maximum loss that will occur to the investor if the stock price increases rather than decreases is limited to the option premium. Next, we will have a look at what it means to be short or have a short position in an option. A short position means that an investor sells an option. Very often it is also said that the investor writes an option. An investor who writes a call option receives income in form of the option premium as payment against the possibility she will be required at some later date to deliver the asset in return for an exercise price less than the market value of the asset. Being more specific and assuming again an exercise price of $175 and an option premium of $10.10, break-even is at $185.10. If the price of the asset increases beyond break-even, the investor incurs a loss. Note, the payoff diagram indicates that potential losses can become arbitrarily large. If we consider the seller of a put option, we observe the following payoff diagram. The investor who writes a put option receives premium income now as payment against the possibility she will be required at some later date to buy the asset in return for an exercise price above the market value of the asset. Break-even is at 164.20, meaning that a strong drop in the asset price beyond break-even is associated with a loss for the writer of the put due to the fact that the market value is below the exercise price. After having carefully studied session 1.1, please start with the review questions.